Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, how are you doing? I hope you are doing well. Okay, let me introduce. My name is Muhammad ROZIQIN and my partner are NANANG HUSAINI and HUSAINI TARMIZI. Material that we will learn is about adjective clause. Watch it in detail. Thank you. I'm going to talk about definition adjective clause. An adjective clause is a dependent clause that starts with a relative pronoun that has an adjective function or to modify a noun, change the meaning a little, noun or pronoun, noun phrase or pronoun. Adjective clause divided into two. The first is independent clause or main clause, can stand alone, potentially from sentences, minimal pattern, subject plus verb. The example, I eat. I as subject, eat as verb. The second dependent clause or subclause cannot stand alone, does not have the potential to form sentences, minimal pattern, conjunction plus subject plus verb plus object. The example, because I'm hungry. Because as conjunction. I am as subject. Verb plus object, hungry. The next material will continue my partner. Please.
Okay, I will continue the material. It's about a clause. Before we continue further about the material, we have to know what is the clause. Clause is a group of words containing a subject and verb. There are an independent clause and a dependent clause. An independent clause is a complete sentences. It can stand alone in a sentences and by itself as a sentences. And a dependent clause, even though it has a subject and verb, but it's not a complete sentences. It cannot stand alone as a sentences. It must be connected to an independent clause. There are three characteristics of adjective clause or relative clause. The first, it always a dependent clause. The second, it always begin with relative pronouns. There are who, which, whose, that, where, and when. And the third, it always modifies noun, noun phrase, or pronoun. For the example, the man who works at the post office is very kind. The man is main clause. The who works at the post office is relative pronoun and is very kind is complement. So in Indonesia we can translate who as young. So who connected the man works at the post office is very kind. Okay, we see again for the example. The man who works at the post office is very kind. Lelaki yang bekerja di kantor pos sangat baik.
Adjective clause or relative clause. To modify noun, noun phrase, or pronoun. Function, to identify and to describe. The first one, I will explain to identify or to define something. The main characteristic is don't use comma. For the example, the professor who teaches chemistry 101 is an excellent lecturer. The main clause is in blue, the professor. Or the professor is subject or noun phrase. Is as verb or to be, an excellent lecturer as complement or noun phrase. The adjective clause is in red, who. or relative pronoun. Teaches as verb and chemistry 101 as object or noun phrase. The noun modified by adjective clause is a common noun. And the second, to describe, to give additional information. The main characteristic is use comma. The professor Wilson, who teaches chemistry 101, is an excellent lecturer. The noun modified by adjective clause is a proper noun.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is HUSAINI, and we will continue the material about relative pronoun. What is relative pronoun? A relative pronoun is a word that is used to connect a clause or phrase with a noun or pronoun. There is who is usually used for an adjective clause where the noun is a person or thing that is alive or named. The example is the man who wearing black glasses is my uncle. And whom. There is whom. Whom is a relative pronoun which means which person. Whom is the opposite of who. If who is used for the subject, then whom is used for the noun that becomes the object. The example is, she is the woman to whom I always tell my feeling. There is whose. Whose is a relative pronoun that is used for ownership of object by a subject. The example, Anam, whose cat was found by me, gives me a gift. And there is which is a relative pronoun that is used to designate an object among the selected object. The example is hamburger, which most people love, is not very healthy. And the last is that is a relative pronoun whose use is similar to which, but is only used for restrictive clause. The example, I need to tell you that I love you so much. And the next material is relative adverb. Relative adverb is an adverb that is usually used to connect an independent clause and an adjective clause. There is when. When is a relative adverb used to show time. The example is I don't remember when she went into my room. And there is where. Where is used to explain an adjective clause in the form of a pledge. Example, I don't know where to go from here. Why, there is why, is used to explain an adjective clause in existence of reason. Why? Example, I don't know why he left the chat group. And the last is how. How so? A description of something. Description of something. The example is I asked him how to play football in the us. So everyone, this is our presentation about adjective clause. And I'm sorry if I have many mistakes in our presentation. The last I say, akhiran, Assalamu'alaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh.